Hey guys, Troy from Washrod here. Just want to have a quick chat in regards to quoting. There's a few, thought patterns on how you quote. Some people like to quote on a charge out, a set price per hour, however long it takes you to do the job, you charge that out. That type of thinking is a very safe way of thinking. It's very secure. You know at the end of the day that you're going to earn so much per hour. You know what your cost is per hour for your labour and your materials. But your problem is it's pretty hard to make decent profit on a charge out job. To give you a rough example, our charge out hourly rate is $65 an hour. That's what we charge the customer if they want to know how much we charge per hour. $65 per hour per person. So for one person to wash a house, say a 220 square metre house, it might take 2 hours. So we're looking at $130 to wash the house plus the chemical. Realistically guys, the chemical to wash a house might be $15. So we're looking at $145 to wash the house. Now, if you do a fixed price to wash the house, our fixed price, our minimum is $240. We will not come out and wash any house, regardless of how big or small, for any less than $240 to $250. So if you go $250, divide that by the 2 hours, you're looking at $125 per hour. And that's the reason why we don't do the charge out on an hourly rate plus materials. There's no profit in it. So for a $250 house wash, and mind you, for $250, that's a pretty small house. Most house washes are $280 to $295 to $320. Somewhere around that high 200s to low $300 mark. You can get some big houses that go to $400, $500, $600, $700 house washes, but they're not that common. They're a once a fortnight or once a month type house wash. So if you go back to a $250 house wash, which is very common, it's run of the mill, we do 4 or 5 of them every day of the week. So $250, it cost me, say, for the 2 hours, $40 for labour, $20 per hour, times 2 hours, $40. Chemical, as I said, $15. So I'm looking at basically $55 so far in cost. I then add 50% of the cost, okay, to it. So $55, I'm looking at another $27.50. So I'm looking at $82.50. That's what it's cost me as a business owner to send that guy out to wash the house. Okay, so I'm making roughly, what's that, $80 off $250. I'm making $170 profit out of it. Fair enough. I've got to pay tax and cover administration cost and advertising, marketing, all that type of stuff. But can you see the difference between $170 in profit versus if I was charging out an hourly rate, I would have made $30 or $40 in profit. There's a massive difference there. And that's why I always tell new guys to the industry, don't charge out on a per hourly basis. You're not going to make any money. You'll make money as in you'll make yourself a wage, but you're not going to make any money to the point where you can afford to expand, buy a new work vehicle. At the end of the year, go on a holiday. Actually get ahead in life. It just doesn't work. So drop the idea of charging an hourly rate. It is safe. It is the safe way of doing it because you know that you're always going to make money. Now the danger of doing a fixed price like the $250 is if you underquote the job. If you go, okay, I'll wash your house for $250, and this mainly happens if you quote without physically seeing the house, and then the house is bigger than you thought. Now, just make sure one thing: the house is bigger than you thought. Okay, that's your mistake. It's not the customer's mistake, unless the customer misrepresents the size of their house, which happens a lot. Trust me. It happens a lot, but if you make the mistake and just assume the house is so big, or make the mistake of assuming the house is not very dirty where it's absolutely filthy and it's going to take a lot of hard work to get it clean, you can't charge extra for that. You just can't. You know what I mean? In business, you have to be a man of your word. If you give them a price, that's the price. So that's the only danger of giving a fixed price quote. But when you're in my position where you're doing 5, 6, 7, up to 10 quotes a day, you get to know you know, how much to charge, how long it's going to take, and how much material. A good thing we use is Google Maps. Someone gives us, if they want a rough quote on the phone then and there, they give us the address, we jump online, we Google map the address, we go to Street View so we can physically see the house. That will tell us if it's single story, double story. Satellite view will give us a ballpark of the square meterage. And the only problem is you can't really tell how dirty the house is. So we always quote on the upper end. Instead of 250, it'll be 295. And we just let them know that if the house is a little bit cleaner than we assume, we'll give you a 10% discount. And we've had no troubles with that. So I just wanted to let you guys know how I quote. I quote fixed price, a set price for the job, regardless of how big the job is or how dirty the job is. My price is my price, and we always stick to it. But we make good profit out of it. If we can't make 50% profit out of every job, you know, there's a major issue. We always try for 50 to 60% profit, and at the moment we're getting them pretty easy, so we want to keep it that way. But anyway guys, if you guys have any questions, hit me up, washright.co.nz.